Okay, so I made a video earlier, but so I guess they caught the dude who killed him. It was this white guy, right? And I think he's an activist, they called him. And the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of things don't catch my attention in life. You know what I mean? I just kind of, as I told you, I don't take too many things seriously. But they have the evidence on how they caught this dude. He basically told where the rifle was at. His friend told on him in Discord. He was telling his friend about the stuff in Discord, and I guess a cousin called the FBI, and the FBI got a hold of his friend who had the messages in Discord, and he described the whole where the rifle was at. They had pictures of the dude before and after, like family members and shit, but it wasn't of him holding all that shit. So basically, when they found this dude's rifle, the dude inscripted some things on the casings. He wrote, "Hey, fascist, catch." Like right there alone, holy fuck, this dude was the real, this kid was brutal, right? This is why people are trying to get rid of guns, bro. So then keep reading with me. Another read, it said, "Hey, fascist, catch," with an up arrow, a right arrow, and 3 down arrows. And a third that said, "If you read this, you're gay." I'm sorry. As a kid from the 80s and just growing up in this time frame, that just like blew my mind. So I'm going to show you why this is crazy. A lot of people might not have picked up on this. What does up, right, down, down, down mean? It caught my eye immediately. This kid wrote, "Hey, fascist, catch," and put the code for fatalities on the casing. Bruh, this kid is brutal. So I haven't fully read up on what's going on with this whole situation, but I guess the kid's name is Tyler Robinson, and he's like anti-fascist. Anti-fascist as fuck. I told y'all what's going to happen is with all the appearance of these Nazis and supremacists and crazy people, okay, I talked about duality before. You guys saw the left. You guys said the left is crazy happy because the left always gives, and wants to protect. I'm warning you people that people have duality. And you be seeing the nice left, but oftentimes there are people out here that will fight for what they believe in. And when all this propaganda is put out here, then you have people like this kid who ends up going from gamer to militarized finisher. This is wild to me. And I just made a video before I knew any of this, that because of surveillance and satellite footaging, even in the news article, it says they found him through surveillance footage. What kind of surveillance footage? Which businesses? How did you have footage from business to business all the way to the location he went to? Because you would have found him if that was true. Because once y'all had a general location and idea, y'all was able to use satellite footage or imaging. And so I guess the kid became more political. He ended up getting a high-powered rifle, and it had a scope on it. But he left an entire description of how he left it and everything in Discord, and they found all of this stuff. So, I mean, I don't know when people are going to want to get rid of guns. I don't know when people are going to start taking this more seriously. But I'm seeing everywhere what's coming of this is people talking about, oh, the left's going to get it, the left, left, left. It's just more people being radicalized. It's just, and the president himself said that the radical left did this. This man is from a white Caucasian town. Look at his gear. He looks like he's finna go hunting with an American eagle on his shirt. That's not a black thug. That's not a Muslim. Right? And after all these school shootings and church shootings, are they going to call him a precious little angel that just went wrong? Are they going to say he lost his way like they did the other ones? Yo, that Mortal Kombat fatality on the bullet is brutal because I saw the shooting and oh my goodness. It's like a video game to people, and I'm trying to warn y'all to wake up. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I'm just sitting here at the crab shack waiting to get my fried catfish dinner before I chill out for a little bit and take a nap. I got to go to the furniture store today and probably won't see anything. I don't want to say that. I might see plenty of things I like, but and then my girl's planning on asking an employee about these couches that they just advertised about a while back for her daughter, but she didn't need it. So I told her I'd buy it off the guy if he's still selling them. More than likely, they're still in his garage. If not, we'll go to the furniture store. Because my couch got springs coming out and it's, just all kind of stuff. So it's time to upgrade. Now my old self in my 20s and my 30s, getting close to my 40s, I got to maintain, you know what I mean? Back when I was younger, I wouldn't give a fuck, but excuse my language. But predominantly what I wanted to talk about in this video, just ramble for a bit, is the ideology of what the military and what higher level law enforcement can actually do. I just heard recently that they apprehended the suspect, not the one that they had the first time, but an actual suspect, the one that they believe did it. And what I want to tell you guys is, what I'm about to say, I'm about to debunk anybody that will call this a conspiracy theory. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I don't want people lingering thinking, oh, he has ulterior motives. When I tell y'all about prophecy and prophets and different stuff like that, I told y'all, to me, a prophet tells the truth. And when he's prophesying, that's no more than a prediction. So what people do is they like to play magical fairy tale games. And what a prophet is actually, why he's called a prophet, is he's trying to warn everyday people because he's more intelligent and can see something that others can't see. Same thing that happens with maybe a scientist. He sees something that's about to happen and he warns a bunch of people. He became a prophet, right? But there's also another aspect to being a prophet. And back in the olden days, what they did was they fried the shit out of somebody. And when I say fried, I'm not talking about lighting people on fire like the bloody fucking Catholics. I'm talking about, and the Malekians and whatnot, who y'all reverence and give 10% to everything to. But outside of that, what I want to say is, okay, I know a lot of you know what satellite imaging is. If you do research on the number of satellites in space, there could actually be an atmosphere of metal around us because that's how many dead satellites are out there. Now to the active ones that actually work. Before I talk about satellite imaging and before I talk about what's actually in the sky right now, I'm going to tell you guys something that may be like a shock to you. They had computing in the 1800s. And AI is an advanced algorithm. I'm gonna tell you how simple an algorithm is. Let's say you have a Rubik's Cube, right? When you do a Rubik's Cube, you do a certain number of spins at each point, and that's considered an algorithm. It's a set amount of repetitive movements. Well, I told y'all before, that's what computers do. Basic computers, ones and zeros, ons and off, switches to, like if you hit a switch and then a door opens, boom. And then a human can walk through, right? Think of that with the computer and electricity, with like the transistors and my dad's an electrician, but when it comes to actual electricity and stuff like that, you have like, I forget what they're called. It's when a signal can be turned on and off. And so it cuts off the electric flow to it. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've said this before. The military is about 1,000 years ahead. That's an exaggeration, huh? The military is about 650 years ahead of the general public. And the reason I said that is because they had computing and computers and different machines that could calculate algorithms and calculate things in the military in the 1800s. I just want y'all to know this. And they was creating bombs and all kind of stuff in laboratories. Now, when a lot of times when you guys hear like of electricity and stuff, you guys think like, oh, Benjamin Franklin or whoever the fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a lot of history and relearn things because I can see it now that a lot of things that I've learned have been whitewashed and Europeanized or whatever, taking away from the truth about history. And so they had a lot of different stuff in ancient days. I believe in the early 1900s they was already using AI. So, and you could do research. I believe in the 1950s they was already coming out with stuff like John Conway's Game of Life and algorithms and all kind of stuff. So, like, I would say the introduction to AI and computing maybe like 1850s, 1800s, 1880s. And then you guys know about AI and stuff in 2020. They're like 200 years ahead, right? But that's what they have given you all so far for the general public to use that they deem safe. So then you'll hear of like different scientists doing fusion. Do you understand or attempting to do fusion? And I heard a story about some Asian country doing fusion. Do you understand the type of energy required to do fusion? That's what the sun is doing. So I bring all up to say, whenever a high profile crime is committed, a lot of times the general public is like, I watch Cops or I watch CSI so I could get away with it or I could ooh. A lot of times, even when they already know what happened or when they know what's going on, the general public is only fed so much to keep this sort of propagandic narrative going to keep the general public. So I'm going to say something real quick that goes along with this. This Charlie Kirk dude, right? The day the files were voted on, this man was shot. I believe the day of or the day before, something like that. And then it went from files to, oh, the right hates the left. Every right politician I heard speak on this shooting then blamed the left. They have no idea who did it, right? So it's called politicizing things. And so they're creating fiery movements to take away from the files and all these other different things that's going on. But in actuality, go Google your house and your address and see if not an image of your house don't pop up from the sky. That's the basic that you know about in terms of satellite imaging. So I'm not going to get too deep into this, man. Like, even if they catch this guy, I heard there was a new suspect and they got him and all this stuff. I will give you food for thought. I could get out this car, walk all the way to my house and run a bunch of errands, walk back, drive home, and I guarantee you somebody in some federal agency could see everything I just did. You guys, a lot of times when you holler, because what you see on the news, that's what you're allowed to see. When I hear people holler, freedom, 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 I think it's funny because you're doing what you're allowed to do. So in terms of technology and all kinds of stuff, this is what I try to warn people about. Whenever people commit certain crimes and stuff, even some of the lower level agencies, people are like, oh, how did you catch me? Or, oh, blah, blah, blah. They show like, oh, the police can't catch nobody and murder's going solved and blah, blah. That's what they want you to think. Boy, you go ahead and jump stupid if you want to. They arrested an influencer because the man who did this church shooting was all in his shit, teaching people how to hate. None of y'all are as free and or as safe as you think. And a lot of times, like when I say these people are weaponizing things. So a bunch of people in my group chats and a couple of them who get sloppy drunk was talking about they got their guns and they ready for civil war. They tired of the left. And so what causes a person to take all type of scientific reasoning and logical critical thinking out the equation to actually think about the situation, and the first thing they do is left civil war? Would you want somebody like that making decisions for you? That's what the general public is trained to do. And then they're distracted from anything that's actually going on, like these files. So I just like to speak to people sometimes. And then I hear people say, we have the greatest technology out here. Y'all don't have no idea. These different scientists and government agencies are creating things that your great grandchildren are going to use after they're done weaponizing it. So I'm trying to make people more aware. I teach them I am who I am. You are who you are. Put no gods. I am the one who frees or binds whom I will. Put no gods before. You are to put no gods before who I am. You are to have no idols. You shall not bow down and worship them, for I am jealous, and will not hold him guiltless who take my name in vain or worship these pagan idols. And the earth, the heavens, or the sea, of the heart, in the heart of the flesh, or in these deep books y'all idolize. And then you got the other commandments, don't kill, don't steal, don't covet, don't commit adultery, don't bear false witness, which is lying on others, honor thy father and mother, and give people off days, man, so they can rest. Plain and simple. Anything else you gather, don't cause harm. Love who I am with all my heart and soul, and love my neighbor the same. Which means if I'm going to love myself with all my heart and soul and actually do it, then I can truly know how to love my neighbor the same. But a lot of times people are being taught to toxically love for some magical reward at the end. and in actuality are taught to hate because they're under some guise of I repented in the name of. So just be awakened and aware and learn to love myself and others.